In this video, I'm going to be talking about how we're able to generate our clients 50 appointments plus every single month. If you don't know who I am, my name is Laurence and I've built and grown two agencies, Hey You and Laurence Marketing. And in Hey You, we now help other agencies to grow by putting more appointments on their calendar. A lot of people balk at 50 appointments, think it's an awful lot. So before I go in and explain how we do it, let me just show you that we can do it. We routinely put 150 plus appointments on our own calendar every month through cold outreach alone. But if you can see my screen here, this is a spreadsheet of us importing leads for a particular client. As of recording this, it is the 1st of June 2023. And we started the campaign. We got one booked appointment here on the 2nd of May, but that was just a small little test. We actually started the campaign on the 17th of May. As you can see, it is now the 1st of June. And in that time period, we have generated 27 appointments in 2 weeks, which is off to a pretty good start because it's the first 2 weeks of the campaign and generally there's a bit of tweaking that needs to be made. You can see here, just to give you a little bit more proof that this is kind of real, Andy, our head of client success, is asking the client, Lee, how it's going, and they're having to hire a new person because of the appointments we're putting on their calendar, basically. And we've asked if they can shoot a quick video testimonial, and he said if I can find and I've had to bleep out a few obscenities there, if I can find the time between appointments. That's just a little bit of proof to show you that what we're talking about actually works. What I'm going to do is walk you through the process that we go through with our clients, or part of the process at least, so you can go through that same process with yourself and set up your outreach systems and your business structure for success when it comes to cold outreach. The first thing that we did with this particular client is we looked at their offer. It's what we do with every single client, because we can have the best everything, but if we're not talking the language that the prospect wants to hear, then we're not going to be able to generate the results that we want. So we need to be able to put something enticing in front of them in order for them to take action. So it's a combination of putting something enticing in front of them in the way that we deliver that message that creates the results that I've just shared with you. And when it comes to creating an offer, what we did is we sat down with a client and we walked them through our formula for creating an effective, cold-friendly offer. And it looks a little bit like this. First thing, we've got to target a specific niche industry, however you want to call it. So we need to make sure that we're going after just one particular section of an audience. If you've got multiple different industries that you go after, then you'll need to create multiple different strategies for each industry because it needs to be specific for that industry. So first of all, we're selecting the industry. We're then understanding what the biggest desired result for that industry is. What keeps them up at night? What would they, if they could wave a magic wand, what would they want more of or less of? But what do they desire the most? So we've got to understand what that thing is. What's their most desired metric? So for an example, agency owners, it's booked appointments, qualified appointments on their calendar. For real estate agents, it might be that they want to be face-to-face inside a prospect's home. So whatever it is, figure out what that desired metric for that particular industry is. We then want to look at the desired volume of that desired metric. So there's no point giving somebody one appointment on their calendar every month. It's not going to move the needle in their business. So what is that number that people would really like, or is it kind of really enticing to them? And then we want to look at the time frame that we're going to deliver that metric in. So that volume of metric, should I say? So maybe it's 30 appointments or 30 leads in 30 days, for example. And then we've got the risk reversal, the guarantee. So what are we going to do if we can't deliver on our promises? And if you want to be successful in cold outreach, then you're going to need to put some form of risk reversal into your offer, because if you can't trust your own ability to deliver the results, why should anybody else trust you? Just to recap, first thing is the offer, and we do that by focusing on the industry, the desired metric, the volume of that metric, the time frame that that volume of metric is going to be delivered in, and then the risk reversal guarantee, whatever you want to call it. So there's 5 elements to an effective offer. Once we've then got that offer nailed down, the next thing we need to do is make sure that we're able to deliver that offer to as many of their ideal prospects as possible. And I'm going to skip out for this video because I think there's some kind of a bit more important information to share than, how to find the leads, how to, what to write, how to deliver the emails. And I want to go over something a little bit more high level. I'm sharing my screen with you here, and what you can see is a simple XY axis, and we've got high volume, high personalization, low personalization. So what works very well is high personalization when it comes to cold outreach, because 99% of people are sat up here. They are sending out lots of emails with no personalization. And when I say no personalization, like name and company name, they still fit into no personalization. Nobody sees their name in an email and thinks, wow, this is from an individual person. So most people are sat up here with zero personalization and high volume, and they are hoping that their cold friendly offer is going to do all the lifting for them. And it kind of works depending on how strong your offer is, but in order to maintain that level of effectiveness, you generally have to go back to your offer and make it more and more outlandish. And so you're kind of in this cesspit of offer creation, and you're just becoming more and more unrealistic, and it's just not good for you, it's not good for the industry, it's not good for anybody. So most people sit up there. Now, what works really well, as I mentioned, is high personalization. And problem is, genuine personalization is hard to do at scale. So most people sit here. And while this still works, it's not necessarily going to move the needle enough in your business in order to make a significant difference. Or if it does move the needle in your business, it's going to take all of your time to do so. And therefore you can't concentrate on, other parts of your business. And when you're starting out, this is literally all you need to do to get your business off the ground, is just do high personalized, like people make it way more difficult than it needs to be. You just need to do high personalized outreach with a good offer. And if you stick around here for long enough, you'll get the business off the ground. But most people watching this probably not quite here. And so people generally sit somewhere along here. And what the aim of the game is to push this, keep the personalization here and push it up as high as we can. And we can do this through VAs. We can do it through software. And we want to basically, I put it here, it should really be here. What we really want to do is just keep on nudging the volume up until we get to a point where we are sat up here, where we've got a solid offer and we've got the highest of high personalization and we've got high volume. So let's just clarify what, in my eyes at least, high volume looks like. So to me, high volume is, and they vary depending on where the personalization kind of lies. But high volume to me would be sending at least 100 or contacting 100 new leads every single day with high personalization. That is what I would consider high volume in a high personalization way. You can send thousands and thousands a day with zero personalization, which is not the name of the game. And although it works, the burn of leads is so high when you go down this low personalization route. So what you want to do is you want to focus on how can I get the most amount of juice from my squeeze, from the leads that I have available to me. And that comes to high personalization. So in terms of high volume, we want to be looking at 100 plus per day. Now, just to be transparent with you, we send 500 per day for our clients. So we're sending 500, a minimum of 500 a day to new leads at an extremely high level of personalization. That's kind of what I mean by volume, and that's what you want to be looking to achieve with your outreach. And now in terms of personalization, there's a few different ways that we can personalize. We can personalize in the copy, and we can personalize with something like a image or a video. And if you can combine all three of these, then you're going to be at that high personalization place. If you can do this with this amount of volume, then you will succeed in your outreach. And if you don't, then it just means that your offer is not strong enough, or is not good enough, or is not compelling enough to your ideal audience. So how can we get personalized copy, personalized images, personalized videos? Well, again, this comes down to either utilizing virtual assistants or software. Now, when, again, you can combine both and get software to do the heavy lifting and virtual assistants to do the fine tuning, then you've got yourself a machine that is going to spit out hundreds of appointments every single month. And you get to a point where it genuinely becomes a choice of how many appointments you want each month, and you can just crank out certain number of emails at an extremely high level of personalization without any more input on your end at an extremely high volume to get more booked appointments. Like, we could quite easily double the number of booked appointments that we get, and we're kind of trying to do so. But the biggest problem for us is on the back end, taking the sales calls, looking after the clients. We need to build that side out first. But it's a possibility, and it's a place that you can get to if you're able to crack this high volume and high personalization. And what everybody should do is they should start down here and then figure out how they can edge things further up. So I hope that makes sense. Just to recap, you want to make sure that you've got a solid offer in place, and that your level of personalization in your outreach is going to be the thing that does the heavy lifting for you. So that plus your offer is what's going to get people to take action. Most people rely 100% on their offer. And while that does work to some degree, it's not the most effective thing. And it's not what's going to take you from however many appointments you're at right now to however many appointments you want to get to, generally speaking. And the reason for that is because people think, right, I got 10 booked appointments last month, or 10, whatever it is, 10 booked appointments. I want to get to 20. I'm going to send out twice as many leads. And when you do that, when you have that mentality, you put strain on your system. You put strain on the number of email addresses that you're using to send out. You put strain on the email service providers. You put strain on the software that you're using to send out those emails, and you get diminishing returns from the number of emails that you send out. You can't just double the input to double the output when you're doing really high scale, because things start to break at scale. So I hope that helps. If you've got value from this video, then hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you want some help to put more appointments on your calendar, then click that link, first link in the description, and we'll explain exactly how we can help. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.